Welcome to this Blue Light training video series. In this session, we'll expand on the importing tool that we used in the previous video. We'll identify our imported data, send it to Analyst Notebook, and use more of the functions in Blue Fusion. To begin to browse the repository, let's select Browse here on the left. We can see here the various entities and links that we have in the repository. On the left, we see that they're broken down by link as well as by entity type. We brought over the person entities, and you can see that there's already some existing phone entities from a previous import. At the top, there are 3 buttons: Delete, Show Cards, and Column Visibility. Let's click Show Cards. This reveals that card, background, or reference information that we brought over for that selected entity. If we have a related image or document of that entity, or possibly multiple images for that same entity gathered from various sources or from over time, that would be reflected here. Let's exit out of this screen. We could also click Column Visibility, which will allow us to turn various columns of information on or off. We can exit out of this screen. Scrolling to the right, we can see the other name that we entered into our import is displayed here. If other pieces of information are relevant, or if there are simply too many columns, we can again click Column Visibility and turn the unnecessary columns off. At the bottom of the page, we have the option to select the number of items to view per page. We can select 25 to 200 items per page. The default is 50. We could also click Next to toggle through the remaining results. Here, we can see that there are 123 person entities currently in our repository. Once we've selected our entity or entities we want to analyze, we can click Send to Chart. Here, we can choose to select all of the entities to a new or existing chart, or only send the entity or entities we've selected to a new or existing chart. For example, let's click Add Selected to Chart. Here, we can see the information that was previously entered in the repository now displayed in Analyst Notebook. We can see the person's name and the file that they were brought over from. These options would be set up in your entity, link, and property schema, which is based on your agency's requirements. Let's select this entity for further analysis, and you see on the right, we have various options. We could do a quick search, we could expand or upload an item, and we could create a new entity, open a chart, or upload a chart back to the repository. But since we currently have this entity from the repository, let's click Expand. This will identify everything that's connected to that entity in the repository. At this point, we can see 2 other entities that have returned. We could select one of the individual entities and expand off of that, or we could right-click to reveal various options. Choose Select All, and then click Expand, and we can see our network beginning to grow based on the information that was entered in or imported from that CSV file. Let's repeat these steps. Right-click, select all, and click Expand. If there are additional entities, we'll see the nodes or the structure of that network overall begin to grow. You may not generate any results based on the data, but if you're connected to multiple databases, as seen in our Blue Fusion Connectors video, you may start to see some shared connections and additional linkages that would not have been readily evident by simply searching or querying one database or one record source. Once we've brought these entities over to Analyst Notebook, we now have the full array of tools in Analyst Notebook, including the Analyze ribbon and the various options there to analyze this network. To look further into the structure of the network and the given entities, and to look for any correlations and answer very specific intelligence analysis questions based on your data. This information could be brought over and searched across multiple databases or multiple imports of structured data into your repository, analyzed, reviewed, then sent to Analyst Notebook, where with just a few clicks, you can have open access to all of the tools within the interface. The software works seamlessly with each other. Blue Fusion was designed that way for this very specific reason. You will see a lot of crossover between Analyst Notebook, its analytical capabilities, and how Blue Fusion works in representing that same data, which should provide an extreme return on value for your analysts and investigators. That's it for this session. Thanks for watching, and thank you for choosing Blue Light.